Moon, and I am here with Kerry Ipema from Sex Ed at the Orlando Fringe Festival. What is your target audience for your show?
My target audience, I would say everyone. It's an autobiographical monologue, but I don't think my story in itself is unique. I think I have a very similar story to most women all across the country, and I think that's sort of why I want to share my story, because I don't think it's one that is told often enough, in my opinion, and I think like anyone can relate to my story, and I think anyone can learn, and I think that's the whole point of art, is by sharing a part of myself, I hope to help others in some way.
So your show has many Disney parodies.
Yes.
How did you choose which Disney songs you were going to parody?
There were certain songs that just spoke to me, right? Or some of the emotional arcs that these princesses went through within the songs sort of fit really well with like the emotional arc that I went through. That's what I think is so relatable about these Disney princess songs, is it's usually a woman or a princess wanting something and wanting more or wanting to understand, and I think that those songs are so relatable and easy and so wonderful to parody because it's all my show is about, is like wanting an education, wanting to learn, wanting something more, or having expectations and, you know, maybe not necessarily having them being met.
I'm going to ask for some advice during this portion.
Yes.
So as a girl going into musical theater, what would your advice be?
I think my advice would be yourself. Because I think this idea that's followed me through my career and the work that I've done is this phrase, "you are enough." Because so oftentimes you go into an audition room or you're in a play and you're thinking, am I good enough? Am I going to be okay? Will people like me? And I think at the end of the day, to be yourself is such a powerful thing on stage, and I think as any actor, you'd ask anyone, and they bring a bit of themselves to every role. And I look back at myself auditioning for programs when I was a senior in high school, and I found myself thinking, what will they want? What are they going to look for? And it was always about them, and I don't have any control over them. You never know what they want. All you can do is bring yourself to the table.
As a girl who is relatively inexperienced in her love life, what's your advice?
My advice is be patient, and to compare yourself to others is a fool's errand, is a fool's game. Nobody knows what they're doing. And inexperience is everywhere. When you realize that insecurity is totally universal, I think everyone feels like they're not enough in high school. I think when you realize everybody experiences that, and that it's a universal thing, that, you know, it's not so scary.
So your show is definitely extremely brave. You reveal some very personal information.
I do.
What is that like?
You know, it's hard. I share stories that I think need to be humanized. So much of what we fear is because we don't know. It's about maybe putting a face to these fears or these things that we think are wrong or bad. You know, I was so happy when you came to the show, because I thought, like, what would I have benefited from if I saw this show when I was your age? Because the things I learned, the education I had, is all through trial and error. Ask anyone, their love life, everything is about trial and error. And I think so much of it is we're afraid to ask the questions, and we're afraid to reveal these parts of ourselves because there's some shame in it, or there's fear. So that was the goal, is I share the personal things because I think it's going to be in the service of something greater.
What has your response been like so far?
Oh my gosh, it's been so wonderful. The audiences here in Orlando have been so kind and generous and wonderful. So I get people laughing and feeling things and crying, and people just come and they're like ready to listen in a way, and they're ready for me to share these things. There's always that fear that you're going to be giving so much of yourself and it's going to be met with a brick wall, right? Yeah. Where people are like, we're not ready to hear that. But I find that there's this like exchange of energy every night with the audience, and it's been so rewarding.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. I so appreciate your time and everything.
This has been Clarissa Moon talking to the stars of the Orlando Fringe.